Hi, and welcome to another edition of OnsiseSA. And it's starting to hot up. We're down to the final 16 at the Euros. Budge, I hope myself, you and Steve can get some direction here, because it's certainly looking interesting, Budge.
That's good, Paul. But you have a look at the draw. It's like the World Cup. A lot of the top teams are in the top half, and the lesser teams in the other half. So
that's how it goes.
That's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get Steve. Steve, are you online?
I'm here. Good morning.
How are you, Steve?
Very well, thank you.
And nice and warm back in Blighty?
So-so.
So. And okay, we've got a few topics that Budge has put together for you to discuss. And but just I looked at the topics. One quick question: any major transfers?
Not really. I mean, I think that there's a lot of speculation, but I don't think many big transfers will be concluded until after the Euros.
Okay.
I think so. At the moment, obviously, the biggest one probably where there's speculation is Man United after Sancho, City after Harry Kane, Arsenal evidently prepared to pay up to 50 million for Ben White to Brighton, but I think a lot of these might not happen until after the Euros.
Okay.
Steve, I noticed the away goal rule has been scrapped in the European competitions.
I hadn't realised it's been in place since 1965.
Yeah.
And I think that UEFA decided that it rather than sort of favour sort of away teams from attacking it sort of maybe blunted some home teams who are desperate not to concede a goal.
Yeah.
So they feel that it's just fair all round just to have whatever the score is. If it's level, then you play extra time and then penalties.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember the joke you gave me for Alec when I was emceed Alec Ferguson's Jewel?
I remember.
Yeah, away goals count double.
But not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Well,
all right.
Anyway, there won't be away goals in the England game. Steve?
Sorry, before you get on, Budge. Steve, is it coming home?
Probably unlikely, but you just never know. I mean, we didn't think that we would progress particularly well in the World Cup, but got to a semi. So, look, there are definitely teams, from what we've seen, who appear stronger than England. But all things being equal, but if they get through this game, they've got a very good chance of progressing. And obviously, with a semi-final and final, at Wembley, they have an even chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Steve, the question obviously with the England game is, who is going to play at the back for England? We'll go through the team because I think Pickford will play. Who plays left back?
Well, I think this is an interesting one because I think tactically it's going to really depend whether Gareth Southgate wants to match up man for man against Germany, who are playing with five at the back.
Yeah.
So does he want to go with a back three and two wing backs, or does he stick with his back four? And I think that will probably determine then who he plays. So we've had Trippier at left back, we've had Shaw at left back. Neither of them have really got forward that well. There's an argument to play Saka in a five and as a wing back because he can at least get forward.
Yeah.
So I think it's really going to depend tactically how he decides to match up. But the left back seems to be a problem.
Who would you start, Steve? Who would you start? Chilwell?
No, Chilwell won't be able to start because he's self-isolating, and the earliest that he could be available to train will be literally the day before.
Yes.
So I think it's unlikely, especially as he hasn't played him yet.
So who do you think put you in a corner?
I think he'd probably pick Luke Shaw, but if he wants to be more attacking, you could go with Saka. He's got a great engine, played really well for the hour or so he was against the Czechs. So.
Yes,
I think it's dependent tactically how he decides. But I'd like to see somebody. Our wing backs have not really got forward enough, and that's created a lot of problems, particularly for Harry Kane because he hasn't had the service.
Yeah, to me, I suggest he plays Trippier because he's better on the ball than Luke Shaw, especially for set pieces.
Luke Shaw wasn't bad in his last game.
But for me, I think he plays Trippier. The corners and set pieces will be crucial.
So I'm just going to write this down.
Yeah, you write it down.
So you're both going Pickford. You're going Shaw or Saka.
I'm going Trippier.
And there's no team announced.
I think Budge. I was reading actually that there was one of the pundits a couple of days ago was saying that Southgate may well go for Trippier for the very reason is that we struggle with set pieces. In the World Cup, we got a lot of goals from set pieces.
Yeah.
You know, we've got virtually, there's nothing, we've created virtually nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we go
I
back,
think Trippier plays. Does he? For me, I think what he's got to do, he's going to match up in the midfield. You got to. That's what. I was at the 2010 game in Bloemfontein, and England had Gareth Barry and Frank Lampard in the middle of the park against his three. They had Ozil.
that was the German game.
Schweinsteiger, and the Blum, and they had the other guy, was it Emre Can, I think it was. And England got totally outclassed there.
Yeah.
And he's got to match up in the midfield, because if Chris and Gundogan start dictating, England are going to be in trouble. So I think he's got to match up there, and I would match up with the wing backs.
I just want to ask both of you a question. The youth policy that Southgate's using at the moment, he's getting a lot of kudos for it.
Yeah.
Is there a team into the last 16 that's got more young players than England? Every position they're very young. If you go through them, they're very young. It's a young squad, which I've always believed in.
Yeah, which is fine, but then sometimes when you get to these the business end of the competition, you do need a few wise heads around as well.
Yeah.
In there maybe, and you can handle the pressure.
Yeah.
So I think he needs a mix.
Yeah, I think he'll play the two. He'll go man for man, and I think he'll play the wing backs. The key is, does Saka play?
Who will be the centre halves?
Well, I think he's got to play the two, Stones and Maguire.
Okay, let's just go for
I
if you know
Maguire, I think Maguire,
And Stones?
he was desperate to get him back in.
Yeah.
John Stones will definitely play. I understand that Maguire hasn't trained as much this week. He's trying to manage the situation, but I think if he's fit enough to play, Harry Maguire will definitely start. He needs that experience.
And the right back?
Right back should be Walker, in my opinion.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think he'll go with Carl Walker. And again, if he was to go with a back three and then wing backs, he could play Walker and then Reece James.
Yeah.
But if it's just a black back four,
Walker. Okay, then across. How many will they play across the middle?
Well, they'll play the two. They'll play Rice and Phillips.
Yeah,
But they both get stuck in.
I think he probably will. I think he probably will. But again, just one of them needs to go forward.
Yeah.
The thing is, they both can't sit back. So one of them has to commit and go forward a bit, because they've got a link. But if he does that, then he just needs somebody else there to help them out a bit.
Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting. I think he'll play with the wing backs, and I think he'll play Saka, Kane, and Sterling up front. I don't think Grealish starts.
What about Foden?
Foden, I don't see him starting either.
Well, I think again, it's very interesting. I mean, Foden, has been magnificent at City, but exactly Budge as well. I've got a feeling he wants someone who can get down the wing and get that ball in. That isn't Foden's forte. So if he wants someone to sort of get past the beta player and get that ball across for Harry Kane, then Saka is the one. Jack Grealish, obviously put in a lovely cross for the Sterling goal. What really was. So if anything, I know that. But having said that, he didn't play Foden because he didn't want him to get booked again, and you wonder whether or not he's done that to save him to play. I think the bench is going to be key. I think against a team like Germany, he's going to have to sort of use his subs well, and I think then if someone like Foden or Grealish don't start, they're going to have to come on with at least 30 minutes to go, to let them sort of.
Would you start Sterling, Steve?
Well,
Played well.
He's probably going. I think he probably will, on the basis that he's got both the goals. He has got a trick in him. He can do it. There are times when I think he infuriates people, but then he has got both goals, and he's looked as dangerous as anybody going forward.
Yeah. To me, I think the Germans are going to play three at the back. Now, Hummels is there for the taking. Rudiger, and I think it's Ginter. That back three is woeful. We saw Hungary destroy them. The French should have scored 3 or 4. England got to play it cagey, but they've got to get behind that back four, because that's the worst German defence I've ever seen.
They've got the youth to do it too. They've got the pace.
I think that's what they've got. They've got to be brave. I mean, they can't be scared of Germany because, as we say, they were 8 minutes from going out, and against a Hungarian team that nobody fancied, but actually on the night played well. So, I think they've got to go for it. They're going to be cautious to start, but they've got to take the game to Germany. You can't let the Germans sort of dictate. So.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is well drawn out. Let's ask Steve's opinion, because that'll determine the top
Steve,
4.
what we'll do we'll go through all the betting, and then we'll ask you for your grid and your bracket. So we'll kick off with the Saturday game, the Wales-Denmark. How do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Denmark played very well the other night. Obviously on a sea of emotion after everything that's been going on. I mean, the game is going to be played in Amsterdam, but predominantly going to be Danish fans there.
Yeah.
Welsh fans are not allowed in the stadium. I think Denmark will probably just edge it. I think they've just, they picked themselves up after everything that happened with the Christian Eriksen situation, and they play with a lot of sort of attacking verve, and I think that the emotion might just carry them through.
But who do you tip?
I think Denmark will go through. This will be a tight game, but I've got to agree.
Okay,
I saw 13-10 both teams to score. I think the Welsh will score.
I'm writing down who you guys pick.
No panic. So I think Denmark will go through.
The silent man left, gone for Wales.
You've gone for Wales,
yeah,
eh? Okay.
Newport, my mother.
All the way from Newport. So
Steve, you met my mum?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Newport,
I didn't know she was from Wales, though. But okay.
No. She was Irish and my dad was Ireland. Okay, well, next game, Bud.
Next game, Steve, a lot of guys I've spoken to think this is a bank of the round. Italy 5-10 to beat Austria. Do you agree?
Is this Saturday?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I think that, Italy have looked so strong, and I find it very hard to think that that Austria could upset them. I haven't really seen much from Austria to think that they're capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only thing is, with the Italians, you get to these cup games, the pressure's been off. They've been playing all their home games in Rome. Now they've got to come to Wembley.
Is this Wembley?
So it's a difficult game. But, Austria are a funny team. A lot of German-based players. I think it'll be tight, but I think eventually the Italians will
have
get
they
through.
conceded a goal, Italy?
No. They should have.
England haven't either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the volley that Bale missed.
So there's Steve, Budge and Laff all on Italy.
Correct, yeah. Exactly. Okay. Steve, on to Sunday. Well, 6 o'clock kickoff our time. The Netherlands, the Czech Republic. Could this be the first upset?
I'd be surprised if it is.
Yeah.
I thought the Czechs played quite well in sort of patches, but I just think the Dutch is probably just, again, the defence is suspect, that they just throw players forward.
Yeah.
So, I didn't see enough from the Czechs to think that they would beat the Netherlands, in all honesty.
Yeah, I must say, I agree with you.
Do you concur with them?
Definitely,
So you're both going Netherlands.
We're both going for the Netherlands. Yeah, I must say on the punting side, I think there's goals in this game.
Yeah, me too.
Because the Dutch can't defend.
No.
Their goalkeeper played in the 2010 World Cup final here, Stecklenburg.
Yeah.
So I can't have the Dutch out.
I'm going for the Czechs.
I think that they'll get through here, but I think it's both teams to score.
Where is this game being played?
This game has been played in Budapest.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, it's
Serbia. Okay, Budapest.
And the other game, I think, is the best game of the round. I think two of the best, a couple of teams in the competition. Belgium against Portugal in Seville. Sunday, 9 o'clock our time. How do you see it, Steve?
That's going to be a really good game. You fancy that if De Bruyne starts and is on form with Lukaku scoring, they might be too strong. But in Portugal, they don't like losing. They played well, strong against sort of France in the end. Yeah. When at one point it looked like they could go out. So I think that's a game that I think could go the distance and could end up on penalties.
Who are you tipping?
I think if it went to penalties, I fancy Portugal, but if not, then I think Belgium.
There's no two answers here, Steve. Steve, we put you in corners purposely. Are you going to say...
I think that I'm going to go... I'm plump for Belgium.
Steve,
I think Belgium will go through. I think there's goals in this game. You have a look at Ronaldo and Lukaku up front. Yeah, just worry about the Portuguese. The two fullbacks are woeful. We saw them get embarrassed against the Germans. And if France had a full go, I think they would have caught them. They should have got a penalty in the last minute when Bruno Fernandes fouled, I think it was Kingsley Coman. Yeah, this is make or break for Belgium.
I'm taking 14-10 Belgium.
Yeah, I like Belgium too, but I would back them. I think they're 7-10 to go through. That would be my suggestion in that game.
So that means it goes.
That's qualify 7-10 Belgium to qualify. So that's my play. But I agree with Steve. It's going to be tight. But you've got Ronaldo and Lukaku, top two goal scorers.
Anything could happen. They're the holders. They're the holders.
I just look at it the other way. I look at the goalkeepers. And I think Courtois is a far better goalkeeper than the Wolves goalkeeper. But, you're saying that on the day, anything's possible.
Yeah, anything's possible. Right,
we go on to the Monday. Croatia, Spain. Did you watch much?
It's an interesting one because I saw the betting and you've got, Croatia is sort of way rank outsiders.
Yeah.
And I think that they're just starting to sort of, show some of the form that they're capable of.
Yeah.
Spain beat a pretty poor Slovakia, but until then had been, I thought they didn't play particularly well in either of their games. So I think this game's going to be a lot closer than the odds show.
Yeah, I'm still spewing because Spain cost us a nice bet not winning the group, and they've missed the penalties. When they play Aspilicueta at the back like they did the other night against Slovakia, they got given 2 goals. Yeah, they'll be cock a hoop, but I think this is 26-10 written all over. I think this will be one of the games that goes into extra time. I haven't really been impressed with Spain. They've got a lot of flair players, but they go backwards and sideways more than they go forwards. I just worry about Croatia's the two centre halves, Vidra and Lovren. I just worry about them. But that was a game I watched. I didn't watch much of the England game. I watched them against Scotland. And once that motivational side of Scotland had gone out of it, they were all over them. And
Croatia dominated.
They've got good players.
Stats. The stats don't lie, do they? And
no.
They dominated the game.
Yeah, so I agree. This is, for me, I'm not going to be having a bet on it, but I like the draw 26-10. But this wouldn't surprise me if Croatia went through. But, I've got to tip Spain.
Spain.
I'm on Spain, but it wouldn't
Stevie,
surprise me.
who you on?
This is my potential upset.
Okay, so we're giving you Croatia.
This is my potential upset of the matches.
Okay. So Budgie Spain, Steve Croatia, left Croatia.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, next one, Budge.
Now the team that we've got most of all the money that we still got left is on France. It should be too good for Switzerland.
Yes, I think so. I mean, the Swiss, are good going forward, but I think at the back they look as if they can concede goals. They've been good to watch, and they made themselves hard to beat. But in all honesty, I think France you'd expect France to be too strong.
Yeah,
I think
so. Yeah, I think there'll be goals in this game. It took 33-10 France to win, both teams to score. I agree that Swiss back four is terrible. Yeah, they'll try and keep it tight, but once Benzema and them start
when is that played on
past,
Monday?
so that's Monday 2100, 9 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
Steve, the big one, England.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
Monday night, yeah.
It's
the big one,
coming
England, Germany.
Well, look, it's emotionally, this is, we know that we haven't beaten Germany in a knockout game since '66.
Yeah.
4 times we played them in knockout football World Cup.
Sorry, Steve, give me that stat again. Sorry, Steve, give me that stat again, please.
1966 last time England knocked them out of a
The last time
knockout.
we beat them in a knockout game. We beat them in a group game.
That's right, under Kevin Keegan, yeah.
Euros, but we haven't beaten them in a knockout game since '66. So it's been a long time, and look, England are at home against probably not the best German team we've seen.
Tuesday.
So they have to go for it. They've got to fancy their chances, and I think if England want to think that they can do well in this tournament, this is a game they've got to have belief that they can beat the Germans. And the Germans are going to come knowing that they nearly got knocked out, but they're going to feel confident. They're going to feel that they can beat England.
So Steve, can I give you a Steve for England?
I think so.
I'm on the Germans, Steve. I just think they'll handle the pressure better. They're away from home. Obviously my heart's with England. I hope that goes through. But, I just think the goalkeepers are going to play a major thing. And Manuel now is far superior to Pickford. And, to me in the knockout, it's going to be tight. But I'm hoping for England. But
I'm with England.
Let's hope so. I just worry about Southgate and his changes.
Well, we hope that this isn't the game that we John Stones and co don't sort of make mistakes, because they nearly did a couple of times against the Czechs and against Scotland as well. And this is not a time for sort of moving that ball around too slowly at the back and having the Germans close them down. So it looks like Goretzka will probably be fit to play.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Look, we know. And again, when a team has come back close to being knocked out, sometimes that little bit of luck goes with them. But I've got to go with England this time.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the German, Steve. I hope I'm wrong, but
it's coming home.
It's coming home. Yeah, I've seen these movies before, like Scotland. I've seen the movies. They're going to beat Croatia. They got totally outclassed, even though they had a couple of great chances.
That was history. The only history is important is the history that we make.
History, correct.
Henry Ford.
Talking of history, Sweden too good for the Ukraine?
I would think so. I think that they are a difficult team to beat. They conceded a couple of latest goals, Sweden, when they had the game wrapped up, but in the end, won the group. and I think they will. I haven't seen much from Ukraine, just in little patches.
Yeah.
They've shown a bit of fight, but otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't think they've shown enough. Defensively, I don't think they're strong enough, and the Swedes don't concede many. So I think it'll be close.
But-
It wouldn't surprise me if it's sort of 1-0, but I think Sweden will edge that.
There'll be goals in this. The Ukraine can't defend. They're the luckiest team to be in the competition.
So you're going with Sweden?
I'm going Sweden. Best beer of the
All-
weekend, Steve.
All
That's for
three
me,
of us
Sweden.
are Sweden.
Yeah,
All three of us.
Yeah.
Steve, the next weekend, obviously, the next Friday, there's the quarterfinals and so on. But I've got a.
Yeah.
Have you got your 4 semi-finalists? I know the guys are going to ask me, who do you fancy as your 4 semi-finalists?
Yeah, I'm writing them down. Give them to
Who
me,
have you
Steve.
got?
So, well, we've got the quarters. So you're going to jump through the quarters.
Yeah, no, we're going to say after the quarters. So you've got Belgium, Italy. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for Belgium.
Yeah, I think
So you're 4, okay, Belgium. Same
Yeah.
as left. Budgie,
And
you?
France.
Belgium, France. Yeah.
Okay,
Now you're
so-
going-
The other side, I'm going to go for England and the Netherlands.
Okay. Well,
England
I'm going to.
and I'm going... Who did Czech Republic play in?
Czech Republic were in England's group. They play the Netherlands. If they win that, they play Wales or Denmark.
So Czech Republic could get to the final 4 if they beat.
If they beat Czech Republic, and then they play the winners of Wales and Denmark.
So they beat Netherlands. Okay, I'm going all the way with Czech Republic for me for the fourth one. Who's your fourth one, Steve?
Steve's going to the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
against-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question in that side of the draw. I think whoever gets through from England and Germany, I fancy will go through to the final.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's not as strong as on paper as the other side, where you got France, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, and Italy,
Yeah.
all in one half, and then you've
Yeah.
got the Netherlands, England, and Germany in the other. So it's a bit like the World Cup. It's opened up for England, where they found themselves, on the side of the draw with Sweden and Croatia, which didn't work out. But it looked an easier draw than the sort of Belgium-Brazil on the other side. So
Yeah.
I think whoever wins that game... is
But
a very
give
good chance.
me your
Yeah.
semi-final.
I'm going
Budgie.
Belgium, France, like it was in the last World Cup, and I'm going Germany, Denmark. I think the Danes will sneak through. I just think it's, sometimes things work out. The Ericsson thing.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
So
I think they'll beat Wales, and I can't trust the Dutch.
okay, I'm just going to recap. Stevie, Belgium, France, England, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Budge, Belgium, France, Germany, Denmark.
Yeah.
I'm Belgium, France, England, Czech Republic.
The
Okay,
Czechs,
so we're
eh?
up to speed, guys.
All right, Steve. And last but not least, Steve, I need your best bet and value bet, please.
Yeah, I bet I'm going to go for Sweden. I just think they'll edge it.
Yeah.
And my value bet, I think, as I said, I've got to go for Croatia. I
Yeah.
think 5-1 in a 2-horse race against
It's madness.
a team that's been up and down. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to go. I could have gone for Germany, but I thought that's probably
No,
not.
yeah. Yeah.
No, not clever.
No, as I said, nothing worse than betting against your heart, Steve.
Yeah.
Rather not have a
Yeah.
bet, stay out. But there should be some humdingers. I just hope there aren't too many penalty
Yeah, I hope
shootouts.
so.
but-
And
El
there
Humdinger.
could be one or two go to penalties, which
Yeah.
hopefully not England. Although, if we won it on penalties against Germany, then people will think it's coming home. But I don't think I want to take that risk. But at least by this time when we have the call next Thursday,
Yeah.
we'll be just looking forward to the quarterfinals. We'll know where we are.
Yeah,
Stevie,
totally agree.
fantastic.
Steve?
Thanks, as always. Thank you very much,
And in
Steve.
the meantime, Paul, I understand that Tottenham are now decided to talk to Nuno after
Yes,
dismissing
yes.
him a few weeks
Absolutely.
ago. It looks like he's the last man standing for them. So
Yeah, you're right.
that wouldn't surprise me.
Nuno is now gone favourite, and in the meantime, Levy and the new guy, what's Patrici or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Paratici.
They are doing. They're looking at who's going to go, which players they've got to get rid of, which players they can potentially sign, and obviously they're saying that Harry's not going. The 100 million was rejected. So, Stevie, on a Spurs note, I'm as much in the dark as you are, and you're in Blighty.
Yeah, no. Well, I think at the moment it's like a bit of a phony war, isn't it?
Yeah.
This with the Euros, and players away and people are away. I think apart from maybe the manager situation, but the player situation that isn't going to. But I think as soon as the Euros are finished, then things have to be resolved because the players who are involved in the Euros will then have a little break. But then they've got to go back to somewhere to start pre-season, and they'll be starting pre-season late.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with now all the fixtures are out as well. So some of those players coming. If let's say even get through to the Euro finals, those players are then going to have a couple of weeks off. They're not going to be back towards the end of July.
Yeah.
They're not going to have much time then for pre-season with their clubs. So it's I think that you could find a few players maybe not even starting the season.
That could be it. Spurs put up some videos, Steve, of Dele Alli and Kyle Walker-Peters. They've gone into this training regime in Dubai. There's a fitness centre there, and there's videos of them having tied to ropes and running away from elastic ropes. And Dele Alli looks very, very fit.
I think he's got. This is a big season for him.
Yes.
If a new manager comes in and fancies him and he can show what he's capable of doing, he needs to try and get back to where he was. Yeah. And the way to do it is on the pitch. So he's got to show something, because otherwise. His days of playing for England and etc., or a big move again, if that was to happen, are behind him. So, he had a good few years. I think maybe everything probably got into his head a bit. I think he started to believe he was maybe better than he was, and football can be tough like that. You have a few bad games and your face doesn't fit, and then he found himself sort of on the sidelines.
I hope Potter gets a job. That's my wish. I hope Potter gets it. But anyway, Steve, thanks very, very much for your time.
Pleasure.
All the best, Steve. Enjoy the games.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye now. Budge Calf League. Explain this to me.
Yeah, Paul, semi-final Champions League, second leg. Yeah, both home teams won 1-0. I couldn't believe Chiefs won 1-0, Paul. Reading all the reports. The goalkeeper was Bavuma. He was the man of the match.
Chiefs beat the team from Casablanca.
They won 1-0 away. All the guys I've spoken to, the Chiefs fans away, they've got a few injuries and so on, but all they need is a draw, Paul. But at times, that's the worst thing that can happen. But they've got a good home record. Defensively, they sound.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing, Paul.
Don't you?
No, I don't see them getting beat. Wydad Casablanca, they'll be dangerous, obviously. But
they've got to have a go.
For me, I wouldn't take 18-10, Paul. The 22-10, the draw's a player for me there.
Al Ali, good team.
Al Ali certainties. They won 1-0 away in Tunisia. That's Pitso's team.
Yeah.
Even money. There was only one site that had it up, but even money, we're already on, Paul. That'd be too good for Esperance Tunisia, yeah.
Okay, let's touch on the Copa America budget.
Yeah, Paul, it runs concurrently with the Euros.
Yes.
2 groups of 5. And obviously the top 4 goes through, where 1A plays 4D.
Okay.
Can't believe my mate at Man United, Fred, the Brazilians have been the top team there. He started all 3 games. They've won all 3. So they're the top of the group. They play Ecuador. They should be too good for Ecuador. Now Venezuela, got to get a result, Paul. So, Peru, when you have a look at some of the names.
This is straight knockout?
No, this is the last group game. The knockout starts next weekend, so hopefully we'll have the odds for that. But I fancy Peru are the 2 teams. Bolivia haven't won a game. They've played 4, lost all 4 against an Argentinian team. When you have a look at the names, the goalkeeper's from Aston Villa, that Emilio. Yeah. Your man Lo Celso has started in the middle.
He's doing all right, yeah.
Yeah, so Messi, they've got a nice team, but a lot of younger guys in the team, so they'll be too good for Bolivia. Now, Uruguay won last night. Eddie Cavani scored the goal. You can't believe the names. Still the same players in the team, him and Suarez. But, it's the last game of the group. But would I take 8-10 Uruguay? They've only won 1. That was against Bolivia. I think a draw's a player there against Paraguay.
All right, Budge, let's go soccer 6.
Yeah, Paul, this is the international one. I've gone the field in the Wales-Denmark game. I'm hoping Chiefs don't get beat at home against Wydad Casablanca. I think Italy will be too good for Austria. I've thrown the draw with the Netherlands. I don't like what I see defensively. I've gone Netherlands win and draw against the Czechs. I'm going Belgium, Portugal. I'm going the field, even though I like Belgium to go through. And I think Spain will beat Croatia, Paul, 2-1-6.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
The other soccer 6 on Saturday, it's Kaizer Chiefs win and draw at home against Wydad Casablanca. I'm going Bohemians to avoid defeat against Sligo Rovers. I'm banking El Ahly to be too good for Esperance Tunisia. I'm going Toronto, the field, against Cincinnati, Joop Stamside. I'm going Real Salt Lake, win and draw against the Houston Dynamos. And I'm banking Nashville to be too good for Montreal Impact, 144. On to the soccer 10. I'm going Kaizer Chiefs, win and draw at home against Wydad Casablanca. I'm banking El Ahly to be too good for Esperance Tunis. I'm going Sporting Kansas City, win and draw at home against Los Angeles. I'm going Vitoria, win and draw at home against Londrina in a Serie B game. I'm going Toronto to get a result. I'm going, Cincinnati to avoid defeat against Toronto. I'm going Real Salt Lake, win and draw at home against Houston Dynamo. I'm going Nashville to be too good for Montreal Impact. The Seattle Sounders to be too good for Vancouver Whitecaps. I'm going LA Galaxy, win and draw at San Jose Earthquakes. And I'm going Portland Timbers to avoid defeat at home against Minnesota United, 256. We have a Sunday soccer 13 that got sent last night from the Swedes. I'm going Belgium, win and draw against Portugal. The Netherlands, win and draw against Czech Republic. I'm going the biggest club in the world, Broma Pochkana, to be too good for Asariska. I'm going Karlstad, win and draw at home against IF Sylvia. I'm bankering Sandvikens to be too good for Tabby FK. I'm going Gefle to avoid defeat at Orebro Syrianska. I'm going for Trollhättan, win and draw at home against Oskarshamns. Our second page, I'm going Bodo Glimt to beat Stabak. I'm going Brazil to be too good for Ecuador. I don't see Peru losing to Venezuela. I think the French will be too good for Switzerland. I'm chancing Spain to beat Croatia. And the last game, IFK Heninga, win and draw against Sollentuna, 231.
Okay,
a bit of a mouthful with all the Swedish games, Paul, but they are limited. What we can
it's you got to try your luck.
Yeah, got to try.
My favourite time, your best
Paul,
bets. Run through them for me.
Sweden to win in 90 minutes. Obviously, the games are going extra time. It doesn't count. And I'm still on the France bandwagon, Paul. They've got a tough assignment to get through, but I think they'll get to at least the semis, 2,100 to 200.
They've got to win it outright.
They've got to win it outright. Yeah, the second bet, I'm going France to beat Switzerland, and Sweden to beat Ukraine, and all four teams to score.
That's a good bet.
You know, I looked at it, it was like 9-2 to Sweden and 33-10. I thought, Paul, for a bit of fun, 20-1, you can't get hurt. So 4,200 is our play. Our next bet is the Euro both teams to score bet. I'm going Wales, Denmark, Belgium, Portugal, England, Germany, and Sweden, Ukraine. It's a great price, 2,900 to 200.
Okay.
Our Euro team goals only. I'm going Wales and Austria to score against Denmark and Italy. And I'm going England and France to score over 1.5 goals against the Germans and Switzerland, 2,400 to 200. It's America, the MLS is going. So I'm going Nashville to beat Montreal. I'm going Philadelphia to beat Chicago. And I'm going Cincinnati and New England to win or draw against Toronto and Dallas. And our Collis King 6 Anixa, I'm going France to beat Switzerland, Sweden to beat the Ukraine, Brazil to beat Ecuador, Argentina to beat Bolivia, Al Ahly to beat Esperance Tunisia, and Philadelphia Union to be too good for the Chicago Fire. 4,500 to 200.
That's excellent, but that's really good. So we've got some really good football to look forward to.
All the Euros is coming, Paul. It's a pity we can't get the Chiefs game. Someone said you can watch it on Facebook. I don't know, but I'd like to watch it, but unfortunately you haven't got the coverage, but let's hope they can get through.
So just for people out there, it starts again on Saturday.
Saturday's Euros 1800, 6 o'clock our time.
Fantastic, Budge. Well done as always. Well done to Stevie B. And until next time, stay on side.